Hi everybody, this is Cindy from Ideas Times 2. Welcome back to our channel. Today I have a video for you. I don't want to call it a tutorial, but it's not a flip through or anything like that. I came across a post on one of the Facebook groups that I belong to from a new junk journaler who was really concerned about the cost of supplies. And, what things should I buy that are, necessary, or, what kinds of things do you use in your journals? And so that got me thinking about, well, I guess the free stuff, the things that we find all over the place that maybe as an experienced junk journaler, you kind of take for granted that we see and kind of collect. And so this video today is really for newbies, people who are new to junk journaling, maybe new to paper crafting, and are looking for ideas of things that can be used in a junk journal, transformed into other things that are free or cost very little. And I would say I think pretty much everything I have today is free. And so what my plan is, I'm working on an ephemera folder right now. I'm working on the ephemera for the ephemera folder, and want to use up some of my stash of things that I've been collecting, free stuff. And so what I have out here, just some things I've taken out of my stash, a bunch of ephemera that came with a paper kit that I'm going to try to incorporate, and I'm going to be using Fabri-Tac. I've got my scissors, I've got all my supplies, and then I have a bag. My niece got married at the end of May, and this was a gift that I was given for being in her wedding, and I've been collecting stuff in it. Most of it is from her wedding, but I've also been traveling since then, and so I've got just a ton of stuff in here. And at this point, I don't even know what I have still in here from her wedding. And so I thought that's what I would start with. I think that's everything in the bag. So as you can see, I've got a ton of stuff. Some cards for advice and well wishes. I thought I could turn those into ephemera cards, although this is practically perfectly fine by itself. And I'll put them in my stash. There's my speech from I had to do a toast. That's my toast. And some of the stuff came off the tables, and she had these little gift bags at all the tables, and had these awesome seed packets, which I think are adorable just by themselves, and I don't think really need much of anything done to those. And I have a stack. She had some extras, and so I confiscated those when we were cleaning up the bridal suite. She also had this is one of the treat bags that she had for all the guests. It had some chocolate, some Tic Tacs, and all of this stuff here. But I thought these bags were pretty awesome and could be used for in snippets or clusters, maybe on a cover to do a layered collage or something. So I have a few of those as well. And inside of each of them were these keys. They're actually bottle openers, but I try to buy vintage keys whenever I can, but I run out on occasion. So I've got some of these that I thought would be fun on a closure or on a cover in a junk journal. See, lots of these. And all of the flowers at her wedding were made of paper. Her Amber. Her name is Amber. My niece's name is Amber, and her flowers were all paper. She's an actress and musician, and so she used scripts and books and music sheets to make all of her flowers and all of her decorations. And these unfortunately got smushed in my bag, which isn't a surprise because they've been in and out of the car. But I've got a couple of these that can be incorporated somehow. And she also, the theme of her wedding was kind of theatery. It wasn't really a themed wedding, but she had lots of touches of the theater, and so she has these awesome tickets that were the programs, and I thought that was pretty fun, and those could be incorporated somehow into a journal. Some ball chains. Can never, in my opinion, have too many of those. And move these off to the side. Let's see what else is in here. Seed packets, of course. And this tag, I'll be able to use that for sure. And COVID, so we've got some things that can't be used in a junk journal, but that's okay. Maybe I'll keep that chocolate out. What else do I have in my stash? She had some tissues, and they're really pretty. A nice, pretty color that I think could be used for in a decoupage. I think it's a good color to be able to stamp on top of, so I'm going to hang on to these, maybe decoupage something. A tag from that I'll be able to cover up. It's already got an eyelet in there, so that's a good tag to reuse. I stayed in a hotel, and most hotels have coffee pots and whatnot, so I snagged one of these. I thought this would be a great belly band, and a little embellishing, cover this up, and it's a great little tuck spot. Here's a tag from a sweater that I stuck in here. It's even got the pin still on it and the ribbon, so this will be a quick and easy thing to embellish and reuse, repurpose. The hotel, of course, the do not disturb sign, and this one is plastic, so I'm not sure how I'm going to use that one, but it's a good sturdy material, so I'll be able to use that. Some bags. If I want to do a paper bag journal, if I want to make homemade paper, this one I think is fine as is, and I'll be able to embellish that, and that'll be good. I really like the size of this bag too, and I think it looks pretty good with just a little bit of embellishing and to cover this up, and I think it'll be really cute in a journal. I'm a teacher, so I get gift cards at the end of the year and at Christmas, and so I had a gift card in here, and it will make a, it's already got a tuck spot right here. This is where the gift card was. So that will be something fun to use. And this was a gift card holder as well. And I think that would be fun in a journal. What else? The ribbon, this was for my dress. And I didn't wear it the day of the wedding. it was just kind of one more detail. I just didn't have the energy to to put it on, but it's a great ribbon. And so and this was I don't want to say it was free. It was, you know, came with my dress, but something else that can be used in a journal. And just a few other things that were not obviously from the wedding, but I thought that, take the label off of here, these would be fun as well. One of the journals in that I've been kind of collecting stuff for is going to be an ocean sea themed journal, and so I saved this for that. I thought this would be fun to use in a journal for on kind of like fishing net is what I was thinking. And it's nice and stretchy. It's got a good color. And then this one, I got some new chip clips yesterday, and so this was for that. And it's a little smaller weave than the orange one. And obviously, orange is a color you're not going to want to, you know, use in all of your journals. But the white, I thought would be. It's almost like you know, like a wedding. You could like anything from a sea themed journal to a wedding journal. You could use something like that, and it's, you know, all free. And go ahead and cut this off too. Maybe I'm having troubles. I don't know where all my scissors are. Well, I shouldn't say that. I just came back from vacation and I took my good scissors with me for some crafting. So I've got these. I've made a mess on my desk. And you know, kind of the point of this video is to, you know, kind of keep your eyes open, look at what's around you, instead of throwing things away, what could be used. And so I got some pajamas, and this was wrapped, and this was in the pajamas to hold everything neat, and this was wrapped around the pajamas. I thought this could be used as a closure, and you know, cardboard. You always need cardboard for stuff. So those are some of the things I had laying around that would be good to use in your journals, and that wasn't even any effort on my part to look for stuff. You know, envelopes that your bills come in. I love the ones with windows, and try to be careful when I open them. And you know, get birthday cards, Christmas cards. I got the bookkeeper at my school is a paper crafter. She's into making cards, and so every year on our birthday and this one for Christmas, she makes us cards, and I always take her cards, and they're beautiful, but I don't save cards. I use them. And so I have this one here that I will be taking apart and using in a Christmas journal at some point. So for, you know, if you are new to junk journaling, paper crafting, it's really easy to get sucked into the, you know, I need that tool kind of mentality. You don't need a Cricut. They're fun and they're useful depending on the kind of crafting you do, but they're expensive. If you don't have the money, don't spend it on lots of gadgets. I fell into that trap when I first started, and I have lots of stuff that I don't use very often, kind of cluttering up my space, my crafting space. So, look for, look everywhere. There's going to be stuff there. Also, when you are, in restaurants, I was at a church last week that had these placemats, and this is a church my grandfather was the minister of before I was born. And they have placemats, and I didn't try to sneak one off the table. We asked, and I got a bunch of placemats. I don't know how I'm going to use them, but I have some placemats for crafting that I got from them. One year, a couple of years ago, I was at the Chrysler Museum in Norfolk, Virginia, and they had an exhibit on the art of Eric Carle, who is a children's book illustrator and collagist. And they have all sorts of brochures and stuff, and I took like one of all of the brochures that were free. But we went to the restaurant for lunch, and they had a special menu, like the Hungry Hungry Caterpillar salad and things like that, if you're familiar with his books. And it would have been easy to sneak a menu into my bag and walk out and steal it, but I didn't feel comfortable doing that. That's not the kind of person I am. And so I asked the host if it would be okay for me to take a menu, and he said that was fine. But besides the menu, he gave me the children's placemat and some napkins and just a ton of stuff, and I used them to make a couple of journals, and one I sold in the shop, and one I gave in some Happy Mail. And I'm not the most extroverted person in the world. I'm actually, I call myself a shy, introverted introvert. That I'm very reserved, and I'm not comfortable asking for stuff. But if you bite the bullet and you just do it, you'll be amazed at what people are willing to share. Basket liners from restaurants. I was at a taco restaurant downtown here in my town, and the basket liners were really cute. And of course, I was eating tacos and kind of made a mess. But I asked if I could have a clean one, and she gave me a couple. And I just folded them neatly, put them in my bag, and brought them home and have used them in journals. So don't be afraid to ask. If there's, people are generally very kind and gracious, especially because so many people, I think, steal stuff, that when they have somebody who asks, they are generous with what they share. So my point is to use what you have. You don't need to spend a lot of money to make a beautiful journal. Use fabric that you repurpose from old clothing or something from a charity shop. You don't need to go to the quilt shop to get $12 a yard quilting fabric to make a cover. There's nothing wrong with that if you can afford it, or if it's the perfect fabric, but it's not something you have to do. And I thought I would maybe take a couple of these things and play with them a little bit, and come up with some ephemera for. I'm going to start with easy stuff. With don't even have to put anything on the back. The ephemera kit that I'm putting together, it's a folder, a 4-fold. It's not quite finished yet, but this is my ephemera folder, and I've got 4 pockets, and I'm going to have 2 more pockets here. And so I am, the background of this is white, so I think I might stick with white and rather than coffee stained. And I stuck some I have so many paper scraps, it's ridiculous. But I stuck some paper scraps in here. To do maybe some collage. There's a tag I've already started. And got some little bees here. And like I said, I'm leaving things white, which is really hard for me because my first inclination is to reach for the ink and grunge things up a little bit. I like things, I like vintage. And let's see, I think I might go with, it's about the right size. Start with a base of paper. I think I will. Put some music on the back. Back layer of the collage. Another little piece of advice, I know it's unsolicited, but it's easy to kind of hoard stuff. You know, and pretty soon you have tags from every piece of clothing that you've bought in 2 years in a bag, and you're not using it and you're still collecting them. I have a very small house. I have a decent sized craft room because I took my living room and turned it into a craft room, and my dining room, and I turned that into my living room because I don't really, you know, need that much space. But even having a decent sized place to work, it's you don't want to be hoarding, you know, everything, hoarding all your paper scraps. You know, I mean, like think about this. This is from a bag of tangerines. And, you know, if you have kids and you have tangerines in your house all the time, you know, you could easily collect dozens of those, you know, in a year's time. But if you don't, you know, use it, then it's just cluttering up your space. So my advice is to have one. When it's gone, you know, save another one. And I've got a handful of tags, but I usually only save the tags that are really sturdy, that have maybe a different shape for the hole, that have the ribbon already attached, or you know, maybe you know, jute or something that's a little bit more interesting than string. And I don't save tags from everything, that's for sure. I just save the tags I think are interesting shaped, or you know, maybe a little more versatile. I'll just use one bee, and then use the other bee on another project. I really want to ink my edges, but I'm trying not to. And this is fairly heavy cardboard. These are from the inside of a paper packet, the inside cover. Whoops, right on my nail polish. I need to remove a little bit of glue on here. That simple little tag, and all I used, were scraps and this tag from a sweater, and I think it turned out pretty cute, and that'll go in my ephemera folder. One thing done and about 40 more to go. Let's see, what else do we have in here? I thought this would be cute, but it needs a bee on it of some kind. And I need to cover this so that there's a place to write here. And I think that could go right directly, onto a page in a journal just the way it is. I think that's so cute. Let's see. Isn't quite the right size, but that's not a problem because I can trim that down without hurting anything. That might be something to start with. I don't think I have any more of this paper. Back in my tub. Ugh, I ruined my nail polish. Darn it. All right, so what else could be done quickly? Maybe one more piece of ephemera together. I've got some paper that kind of coordinates with my folder. I think I will go with this one. And measure. And you need a piece that's 5 1/2, 6, 7 1/2. 7 1/2 inches. I'm going to cut the 3 1/2 first, I think. And 7 1/2. Okay. We'll see. I've not covered one of these before, but I thought, you know, it's just going to go in the trash. And then I'll worry about the inside instead of trying to wrap the whole thing. I hope everybody's doing okay, staying cool. I know it's pretty much hot everywhere. It's really hot today, almost 100. It's supposed to be worse tomorrow. I read a statistic yesterday, I don't know if this is true, but any subscribers or viewers from the UK, I don't know if you can verify this, but I read a statistic yesterday that in England, only 5% of the population has air conditioning. Is that true? I couldn't believe that when I heard that. It is so miserably hot. I don't know how you're keeping cool. I hope you're keeping cool, because it's hotter than blazes outside. And if you don't have air conditioning or in a place that's really hot, I hope you're finding a way to stay cool in a shelter or in a movie theater or ice cream parlor. Oozed a little extra glue, which is okay. That's starting to look cute. I just thought of something on this. Kind of, I'm thinking I want round corners. I don't know, it might be too late to do that. Too many layers. But we're gonna try. So it doesn't look quite so much like a sweater tag. There we go. Yeah, I like that better. Just gives it a little something extra, a little space on the back for writing, and I will attach this to like a piece of lace or something, a piece of fabric. I think that'll be fun. And this is just about finished. But I might, well, can't really round the corners on this one with, I don't know, I'm going to try it anyway, because it's only junk, right? If you make a mistake, it didn't cost anything, which is kind of the point of this video. It doesn't cost anything to make mistakes when you're using junk. I know there's some people who think using junk is like the only real junk journal. I'm not one of those people. You know, I think that what works for you is the right way. You know, if you don't have tags, or, you know, I was on a paper fast last year. I didn't buy any new paper. You can't tell from looking at my paper stash that I didn't buy any last year. I was very careful, trying to use up some of what I have. But you can, you don't need to be, you don't need to buy digital kits, you don't need to buy expensive paper. You can use what you have and still make something beautiful. Because it is really easy to get into thinking you need all the gadgets, but you don't need an expensive paper cutter, and you don't need a laminator. There are things you can use and find a use for, but they're not necessities. They're not, I just I read a post from a newbie who was like, I can't do this. I can't be a this looks like fun, but I can't really do this because I don't have a sewing machine. But you don't need a sewing machine. You can hand stitch, or you don't have to stitch at all. That's cute. I think maybe a little label up here. I don't think I have any blue labels cut. But I'm getting to it about the 40-minute mark, and have only made 2 things, but that wasn't my purpose today. My purpose was to talk about stuff you can use that doesn't cost anything, and where to look for stuff. Restaurants, hotels, the library often has, I know my library system has a book sale every month, and each day of the sale the books get cheaper. So if you're looking for dictionaries, or I've gotten books that have really wide spines so I can gut them. They're mass-produced hardcover books that are a dime a dozen. You don't need to spend a lot of money on stuff. And the school library, I'm a teacher, and our school library, when they take books off the shelves, they have a little cart by the door of the library, and the books are free. And my students go through them, and they find books for me that they think I need to have on my bookshelf, books about Shakespeare or Dickens or other authors that I teach. So but there are lots of places to find things for free, if you just keep your eyes open. But the trick is not to become a hoarder. You don't need 100 green or orange or white mesh bags. So I don't know. If you have ideas for items that you use on a regular basis that you get for free, that you can't live without, put that down in the comments below. Thank you for joining me today, and I hope you're inside where it's cool and crafting, and we will be having a giveaway very soon. We are now over 500, oh my gosh. We are now over 5,000 subscribers. We have over 5,060, edging our way up there to 5,100. In fact, I'm going to be putting together a little bee kit, including this ephemera folder stuffed full of ephemera, and maybe a little journal and other goodies, bee related goodies. Or I'm going to stick with the gold and blue kinds of theme, I think. So look for that video and instructions for how to register for the giveaway very soon. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. If you want to be notified on new videos, just click on the bell and you'll be notified. But until our next video, have a fantastic weekend and happy crafting, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.